Hey guys, Jeanette again, All Things Natural Tennessee. Today I'm going to be making my dogs some freeze-dried snacks, and not all four like them, but two of them do. So it's a healthy snack for them, and I like to make it. So I've got some apples, again organic. You don't have to use organic, but I've got 5 apples here I'm going to slice up, and I'm going to put on my freeze-dried tray. And I'm also going to do some banana chips for them. They love banana chips, and we do too. So we will also eat those banana chips. All right, got my slicer. And these are a little bit big when I slice them. So I take the slice and I cut it down the middle to make that. So I get a 2 for 1. The coolest thing about this is that these treats will last me, these could last me years, but with the dogs, they'll last me a couple weeks. And that is great when I have 4 of them that want treats. And like I said, 2 of them don't care for them. The other 2 do. Sometimes I even break apart little pieces here and there, and I'll put in their food. Sometimes. So I'm 1 apple down. My core. I am never throwing away my core. I make my own apple cider vinegar. But I have a mason jar, and I'm going to pop that core, any leftover apple pieces, I'm going to place into here, and I'm going to let it fermentate for a little while. So never throw those away. You can make your own apple cider vinegar. Another reason why I cut my apples again, I slice them again, is so that the edges, like this one is pretty big, and it's actually going over the edge of my tray. So I'm actually going to cut that one again. So this one is going to be a 3-fer. And sometimes that happens. We actually love it when that happens, because then I get more out of it. Always want to make sure that the seeds are not in the apples, because the seeds will not freeze dry. All right, I got 3 cores down into my mason jar. All right, guys, I have all 3 of my trays ready to go. So 5 apples was exactly 3 trays for me. So that's great. I'm going to stick those in the freezer. I'm going to start working on my bananas. And don't forget to put all of your peels and all of your remaining apple products into your jar for the apple cider vinegar. Alright, so my apple slices are in the freezer, so I'm going to go ahead and start on the banana chips. I love banana chips. My daughter loves banana chips. And 2 of our dogs love banana chips. I typically like to do them when they're pretty ripe, but I only had 2 that were pretty ripe still, and then I've got these 3 that I picked out of my other bundle. So we'll just do that. Typically that gives me 1. I use the lid from my trays. I like it because it's plastic and flimsy, and it has the dividers, but it really doesn't matter. I could use my silicone sheets, I could use my trays itself, the silver ones, or I can use the lid. It doesn't really matter. It all works the same. I'll just peel my banana. I save my banana peels. I'll show you in a minute. I try to make my banana chips, pretty, thick so they don't mush. They will, expand just a little bit in the freeze dryer, and I don't want it to get like that. So I want it to be a little bit thicker, but again, I don't want it to go over the edge of my lid or tray. Okay, that was 5 bananas, and that filled up 1 lid for banana chips. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw this into the freezer, and then here in a little bit I'll start the freeze dryer again and I'll load it on up for tonight, and the dogs will have some treats. So I said do not throw away your banana peels. I know I say this a lot on all of my stuff, but I, again, do not want anything to go to waste. If you compost, you can put it in your compost. I love to freeze dry them because it makes a powdery form, and I can mix that into my soil. So I've got 1 in here already. And again, I'm going to freeze it. Well, first I need to get the sticker off because I don't want to freeze dry the sticker. So let's get that sticker off. And then any of my end pieces, I like to put on there as well. So I have noticed that the top parts do not do great in the freeze dryer. It doesn't really make a dust like I like, or a powder that I like. So I tend to leave those out. But again, I'm going to throw in my end pieces and my peels. And I'm going to freeze them, and then I'm going to freeze dry them. So I'm going to go throw this into the freezer. After I freeze dry it, it comes out into this powdery form. It comes out into this nice powdery form. I can really just break it apart. And I will throw that in to my compost. And I will just throw that in with my plant soil. And so that part is really nice. So again, I try to keep as much as I possibly can. And again, I just put it in a Ziploc bag, and when I need it, I throw it in there. And that's some banana peel powder that you can make. Alright, so my freeze dryer is ready to go. I loaded up my banana chips and my apples, and total run time was 18 hours, which is pretty good. Now, as you can see, the apples are pretty dry and crisp, and the bananas are pretty dry and crisp. So I'm going to go ahead and put these into a Ziploc baggie. They will last me several weeks to several months. I appreciate you watching. Please remember that Jesus saves.